Yes, folks, it's the WC once again. The NBA playoffs on YouTube continue as the second round matchup of the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the San Antonio Spurs gets on their way. Now, the second round videos is going to be a little bit different than the first round. All right. The second round video, let me explain to you why I didn't bring up what I brought up in the first round. See, I feel as though that the superstar players in the first round just kind of handle their business. All right. But the second round on the semifinals all the way through the finals, it becomes more of a chess match between the coaches. Okay. So in these videos going forward, all right, second round and up for the most part, and I'll probably add in another dynamic for the conference finals. All right, but for the semifinals, these 4 videos, I will be adding in the coaches' dynamics. All right, so I'm going to give you a brief coach versus coach breakdown. I'm going to give you the matchup that everybody should watch. All right. I'm going to give you the fantasy players that you probably should be putting into your lineup. And then ultimately, I'm going to give you who I think wins the series. Now, we'll start with the coaches here. All right. Billy Donovan versus Greg Popovich. On paper, when it comes to the NBA, Popovich has the clear advantage. But not so fast, my fan. All right. Not so fast. I think that Billy Donovan has one of the best jobs in the NBA. All right, I really do. He just kind of walked into this situation where you have Westbrook, you have Durant, and all you kind of need is just the pieces to be shuffled around him, a couple of players to be put in a couple of spots, and voila. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really have too much trouble in their first round series at all. All right. Greg Popovich is they talk about Phil Jackson being, and I've brought this up many times in my videos. They talk about Phil Jackson being the Zen master. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Popovich is, but he's some kind of master of something because this guy just kind of gets it. And the Spurs, if you've been watching the Spurs really don't play over 30 minutes. You don't have a guy logging in, 35, 38 minutes a night. The minutes are kind of distributed amongst the Spurs to keep their core ready for times like this. All right. So when it comes to the coaching matchup, I have to give the advantage to Popovich. But Billy Donovan has shown, all right, he's shown on both levels so far that he can handle it, especially on the collegiate level. You know what I'm saying? He's shown that he can handle it, but this is just a walk in the park for Popovich. This is just a way on just a way to the another championship for Popovich. All right, as far as I'm concerned. So I have to give the check mark to Popovich. Now, getting on to key matchup that I want everybody in the world to watch. All right, now this was super super close. All right, I was gonna give the matchup that everybody should watch to Westbrook versus Parker. That's a very very important matchup. All right, but Westbrook is probably not going to be facing off directly against Parker this series. He'll probably be facing Mills. They'll probably tandem him. But the matchup that I want everybody to watch, and I think that everybody can see this coming: Kawhi Leonard versus Durant. It's a matchup that's going to decide this series. Can Kawhi Leonard contain Kevin Durant long enough for the Spurs to advance to the Western Conference Finals? You know what I'm saying? I mean, Kawhi Leonard is an elite defender, and he's starting to turn into an elite offensive player. It's just like great defense just kind of translates into great offense. They've been saying this for a while, and I believe it. When you look at Kawhi Leonard, the way he's been playing, you have to believe it. But Kevin Durant is matchup proof. He's going to get his points in this series. One thing that kind of worries me is Kevin Durant actually getting into foul trouble, not necessarily Kawhi Leonard, because Kawhi Leonard doesn't get into foul trouble for the most part. He's an elite defender, so he'll definitely get hands on a ball before Durant will probably get the shot up. It's going to be a fun matchup to watch. It's going to be a chess match. That's the matchup that I want everybody to watch out for. Kawhi Leonard versus Kevin Durant. All right. As far as like fantasy relevancy goes, okay, the safest two guys in this series is Durant and Westbrook. All right, I think that they're the safest two guys because you know they're going to take a high volume of shots. Now, I could say Kawhi Leonard, but Kawhi Leonard is one of those guys of which, you know, you know, I can't sit here and say that he's an offensive juggernaut. He's not on that level yet, but he has proven, he has shown sparks of being that. Um, Durant and Westbrook are the must plays in this series as far as I'm concerned. If you're looking for value on both sides, you can take a look at Emmanuel Ginobili. You can look at it, Danny Green, and his Cantor shouldn't be priced crazy. Dion Waiters shouldn't be priced crazy. If you really want to punch people in the throat, all right, play Roberson because that guy right there is a starter, but he really doesn't do too much. And in tournaments, people are not going to play him. And he has at least a good upside if the game goes to overtime or if it's a really close game and he's in there. He's a guy you can play. LaMarcus Aldridge. I haven't mentioned it to this point in the video, but he's a guy that you can play here. I kind of would stay away from Duncan, but just like the other two guys, Manu and Waiters, he's a different change up from the conventional thinking. As long as Duncan's on the court, he's a threat, to put up, 10 and 10. I mean, he can still do it even though he's old. Now, speaking of old, that brings me to the final determination of who I think wins this series. Now, let me say it like this. If Durant and Westbrook do not get past the San Antonio Spurs, all right, let me say this one more time. If they do not get past the San Antonio Spurs, all right, this possibly is their last chance. This is their last shot at this together, all right, because I think it's Splitsville for both of these guys after the season, or after next season, and who knows what's going to happen in free agency. Durant might go to the Lakers. He might come to the Wizards. I think he'll go to the Wizards. Durant, Westbrook might go to the Lakers. He might stay there. Who knows what Westbrook is going to do. Both of these guys are some of the most hottest commodities in free agency. So this is basically their last chance to do it. San Antonio is a squad, bro. I mean, they play as a squad, they win as a squad. But individuals like Durant and Westbrook can single-handedly beat them. All right, it can happen, and I think it will happen during this series. All right, so in a shocker, I think that people might be shocked by this. In a shocker, I'm going to take the Oklahoma City Thunder to win this series in 6 games. So let me know how you guys feel about my opinion about this series. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think that this is too bold of me to go with the Thunder? And I think that this is legit Westbrook and Durant last shot at this. I really do. Even if they're together next year, I think that this is one of their last shots. I don't think that these two are going to stick together much longer. And this is the new age, Shaq and Kobe. But the only difference is that Durant ain't Shaq. So let me know how you guys feel. It's the WC. Music's cutting me off. This is the NBA playoffs here on YouTube. Until next time, folks. Peace out.